Alright guys, putting my watch list up for the weekend here for what I'm going to be looking at this next week. Got a couple interesting plays coming up that I'm going to be keeping my eye on. I think I got like one day trade I could do on SPY or whatever depending. Let's see, Trump bombs Syria, so who knows what's going to happen Monday. Stuff actually might go up. A lot of people say, oh, it's going to go down, going to go down. But typically war equals profits. War is typically pretty good for the economy. But we'll see. I mean, it might just be people just bailing out because they don't know what to do. That being said, I do like a call on gold here, the gold GLD, the gold ETF. It's been kind of going up and down and up and down and up, and I think it could hit like the 129 mark in the next day or two. Gold's always cheap enough. It is okay for some singles on gold. I like that. Also, I do like FedEx. I said this, I think last week or so. I said it had its earnings, crushed earnings, I think. Yep, crushed earnings was 58 cents higher, and it dropped, and now it's kind of recovering. It hit the 200-day moving average a couple times here, and now it got up above the 9 and the 30 on Friday. And it did have the pullback here from Friday, which I don't like seeing big pullbacks like that, but it started high and then just kind of pulled back. So when it starts high like that, the pullback it's not nearly as bad as what it looked like. It wasn't the most volume traded throughout the day, as you can see. FedEx is usually traded pretty decent. If we look at the 5-minute chart on it, FedEx is usually pretty strong. But I guess it did have a couple of spikes. But I mean, even throughout here, you can kind of see it was up, and I don't know. But the 5-minute chart even is pretty steady. You can see the 200 average keeps going up, kind of a trend line up. So I like that. I like FedEx to kind of keep going up. FedEx is pretty solid. When there's stuff like that, I like to do a vertical spread on it just because you get to lock in. And you could even do one at the end of the week. So I think it could easily hit 245 by the end of the week and stay there. So if we did a vertical on it, let's say we did one, I can tell you right now it'll be a decent profit. If we locked in at 154, we get 96 back because it's 250 minus 154 is 96. That's not too bad. We could even go one more strikeout and do a vertical on that. So we'd be making even more. I kind of like that a lot better. Put in $110, it'll get us back 140. And so that means if FedEx is at or above 247.5 at expiration, which is the end of the week, if you took it all the way to expiration, then you get your max profits. And what did we say? 240, what are we at? 247.5. So that's right here. That's like nothing. I think you could easily hit that. It just keeps kind of going up and up. You can see the trend line, or the 200, just up, up, up. So I do like that. I'm most likely going to be getting into that. To get into this. So I made myself a note. One thing I posted to Facebook was Alibaba. Now the 5-day chart, it's kind of funny. It's like down, up, and down. So we'll look at the year and day. So it's right at the 200-day moving average. Just nicked it, and I got these old support lines drawn, I think, and with the RSI is pretty low. It's at 40. The MACD is coming up. I think we could see a shift up on Alibaba. So that's good. Like Baba. So BKNG. booking. So this used to be Priceline. I've always been kind of salty on Priceline because I lost a bunch of money once on it. I was up 400 within a couple hours, and I was like, oh sweet, I'm just gonna hold. I got greedy, and then it just dove, and I ended up losing like 400 bucks. So I'm always kind of slightly, you know, hesitant on it. It's just one of those ones. But it has been going up. It did have the high, and then kind of came down, and now it's been slightly going up. But it has just been, if we zoom in here, it's just been kind of sideways, but going up lightly. And Priceline's one of those ones where it can have big days and big shifts, and it typically does trade pretty decent. I mean, like here they have the low for some reason, and just up and down, and earnings, and up and down. So I think it could be going back up, and we could see the 2,000 mark again on it soon, I think. Hopefully, if you make a call on it. Here's another one. So Lowe's. It's been trading sideways, but did have a couple ups. And I don't know why I got these lines drawn here, but I do. I'll probably just remove them. But it's been trading sideways, right at the 200 moving average, right at the 9-day moving average, right at the 30-day moving average. So if we see some volume and some action from it, and with the RSI kind of being up, but it's under the one, it's at the negative mark. I'm not too crazy about that, but just keep an eye on those. It could maybe take off. So MasterCard's been pretty steady. I mean, like you can see the last year, it's just kind of been going up and up and up and up and up. A little down here, up, up, up. Craziness after earnings, then up and up and up, and then down after it hit this high. And now I think it's going to be going back up again. Depending on how long you want to tie up your money. I don't like tying mine up for very long. But this might be one of those good plays where you take like a monthly, like the May 18th, and go something out of the money. So, like the what is that, 180 did it say? 180, 185. You can make good money on here if you do a vertical on that. Even at the 185, what's it come off at? 155. So that's not too bad. If you got filled at that, 155 would make you 345. So I really like that. I mean, it ties up your money for a bit, but it'd have to get here. But MasterCard's usually pretty solid, so I like MasterCard. And MU. So here's the thing with MU. Was going up, it was going crazy, and then we had the whole market stuff, and it's just been, I had these old support and resistance lines just been chilling here, bumping in between, and then it broke through. And when it broke through, it hit its high, and then just came down, and then earnings came and crashed it. See here? Even though it pretty much hit its earnings, it crashed it. And then it started to recover, but I'm not 100% convinced on the recovery here. I think we could move back down. MU is kind of one of those weird stocks that gets traded a ton. It's got good volume, and you can do options on it. And I think we might be in another just kind of sideways trading between like what we had here from, what's that, where we get like a 7-point trade just sideways. So keep an eye on that. So you could do a put there, and then a few days later do a call, do a put, do a call. So Netflix, I already have a play on Netflix going on, but I might do another one. So we got earnings coming out Monday after market. So if you're watching this video on Monday or Sunday and you get into this, you could do one of a couple things. Earnings are coming out, and so it's always a risky play. I know it looks here, RSI is going up, MACD is just going up, and it does look like it should be going up, and it might, but we do have earnings coming out, and there's usually around about a 10% move that can happen with earnings with Netflix. I mean, here's 10%. Went up 30 points. So it was like 12%. It could jump up or jump down on earnings. Typically, a ton. I mean, here it was going up and then it gapped up, which is good. Here, if it was going up, it could gap up to new highs, but I don't know. I don't even want to guess and say I don't foresee that happening. I mean, it could crush earnings and drop a bunch, or it could fail on earnings and go up a bunch, or vice versa. So what we could do with Netflix, do the same. So I do these April 20th, and I'll view all of them. So if I didn't have a play already on it, like way up here, I'd do a strangle. You'd have to go something far over the money, otherwise it's expensive. So I'd do like a strangle here. So I'd be buying a put at like the 260 mark, and I don't like how I put that up. I don't know why I did that. The straddle's the same price, so what I would do, so I'd strangle the put at 260, but then I would also go, how many points out is that? I don't know, I'd go far out too for the calls. See something with decent open interest at 365, so I'd do a call on like 365. So the way you're going to make money on this is if, like, we got this one right here, so it's worth 137 now, say you just get that at the bid, so that's the put, and it's super far out of the money. So if Netflix, say it drops, and the other one's worth, like, what are we at, 360, so strangles are kind of, so it's worth, like, the call is worth 150, 160, whatever, and the put's worth 130, 140, we'll say. So if it drops, the put's going to be worth, say, it's going to be worth 400 or $4, right? And now the call is going to be almost worthless, but it cancels out, and you end up making money if there's a big move. So you could do that. I'm just probably going to buy a put, honestly, since I already have a vertical open. And you want to do some strangle when you do it. If you get out the next day after earnings, make sure you look at something with open interest and good volume. Like if you did this 265, 2.5, you're probably not going to be able to get filled. There's no open interest in it, but there's volume traded. Same here, the 272.5 is not good. It looks like all the round numbers are pretty decent on open interest and volume, so stick to that. And last but not least is SLB. So this is coming up to the 200-day moving average, and it's been kind of going up and down, up and down, and up. And now the MACD is rising, RSI is rising. So we'll see how it opens. If it goes above the 200, it could be good for a call. If it drops back down, it could be good for a put. And there's actually, we'll go back to here, we'll go like 14 strikes shown. There's actually decent open interest and volume on these. I've never traded Bloomberg. It was kind of new to my watch list, so I can't make huge recommendations on it, but it's just one of those kind of, it does move a lot, and it had this huge, so it's got good volatility to it, and the options aren't that much for having a pretty decent amount of volatility. So I'm going to be watching it just to kind of see what it does, maybe do a single call, single put. If you go down to the option stats, way more calls have been put on, so people are liking calls on it, so that's good. Yep, if you got any questions, especially about like the Netflix strangle or anything about my watch list or something you see different, or just any questions about options or whatever, I'll post it in chat. This video is just for the chat room here, so hopefully you guys pick something up and let me know how you're doing.